Hello everyone, welcome to our CS445 final group project presentation. First, I would like to introduce my other group mates. I am Mehmoona Haq and my other three teammates are Darshan Adhikari, Azwad Ahmed and Vikram Sitaula. And I would like to thank our instructor too, Josh. Thank you for giving us this opportunity and the platform so that we could come up with an app idea and work on it together. And I would like to talk about what was the inspiration behind this final project idea. So, when we were brainstorming, we were actually thinking about the problems we often face or see around ourselves. And then we realized there is an issue that we have stranded drivers in the middle of the roads sometime they need roadside assistance. Then why don't we come up with something that can actually connect the users with nearby helpers in real time? And what is the benefit of this is, first of all, this is community-based support, and then we have the faster response time, and then we have transparent pricing, which my groupmate is going to be demonstrating about it, and then we have reliable service. Now I would like to talk about the technologies we have used. So for front end, we have used React JS with TypeScript and Material UI components, and we have also used Leaflet Maps integration and responsive design. For backend, we have used Node.js with Express, and we have used RESTful API architecture, WebSockets for real-time updates, and for our database and deployment, we have used MongoDB Atlas Cloud Database, JWT authentication, and Netlify to deploy the front end and render for the backend. And we have some core features. The user registration and login, and we're using JWT authentication here. Then we have service request creation, and then we have a helper matching and acceptance system, which my teammate will be demonstrating about. And then we have admin approval so that someone is signing up as a helper so that we could verify and do a background check to ensure the safety.
Hi, this is Bikram, and I'm going to be talking about the use case diagram of our project Roadside Assistance. Here in the diagram, you can see the different actors and their use cases and the relationship between the actors and the use cases. So first up, we have the primary actors, that is customers. So customers are basically the registered users who request the roadside assistance when they are stranded while traveling. And second, we have the helpers. So helpers are all the verified service providers through our applications who accept the request sent by the customers and fulfill the customer's request. And third, we have administrators. So administrators are basically the internal staffs who are responsible for writing the helpers, auditing the jobs, and handling any disputes in case there is any. So talking about the key use cases, first we have the roadside assistance request. So that is basically the customer selects the service type and then shares the location, and then the system broadcasts the request to nearby helpers and then matching the service criteria. So whoever the helpers is available nearby, they can accept the request and help the stranded driver. Second, we have the provision of assistance services. So in this use case, basically the helper accepts the job, navigates to the customer and updates the status from in the route to complete it in our applications. And third, we have the approval of helper applications. So this is the administrator's job. So the administrator basically reviews the helper's credentials, license, insurance, and everything, and then toggles verified, and then verify the status, and then approve the application. Fourth, we have the track service location. So this is the real-time GPS tracking that allows the customers to see the helper's ETA on the map interface, and then they can predict like how long the helper is going to take to get there and actually help them out on the case they need. And last, we have the managing measurement of the user accounts. So basically, the both customers and helpers can update their profiles, view their transaction history and manage their payments methods by themselves. So that's the flexibility of our application. So next, I'm going to be talking about the testing strategy of our roadside assistance application. So first, we have the black box testing. So black box testing has two different sections. The first, we will have the equivalence classes for location. So this basically checks for the validity of the location input, and then it corresponds the service further. If the location of, is invalid, then the service is not proceeded further. For example, for a value input, let's say the coordinates is within the coverage, like for example the service is requested in New York City, then the service will be matched. For the invalid input, let's say the coordinates is outside the service area, outside the United States. For example, there's the service requested in Tokyo or in maybe some other cities outside of the United States, then the system will flag the service outside of the area, and then it will print an error. And then third, if the latitude or longitudinal value is in invalid format, then it prints an error. Second, we have boundary testing for service radius. So for this helper exactly at 0 miles, then it will flag it as matched. If the helper is at 0.1 mile or 24.9 or 25 miles, then it will show that the service is matched. If the helper is more than 25 miles away, then the service will not be matched. Second, we have the white box testing. So first, in the white box testing, we have the find nearby helpers method. So this thing basically tests the helper survivability, and then it flags it at available or unavailable. Second, we have the verification status test. So once they are verified, they can be flagged as verified. If they could not be verified, then they will be flagged as unverified. Third, we have the ensured service type filtering correctly matches the request services. And lastly, we have the simulated database corrections failures to confirm the any error in the process. Second, we have the process service request method. Then that this thing basically validates the request flows, and then it delivers the correct jobs creations and notifications. Second, it handles the non-existence request IDs with inappropriate not bound responses. Third, it prevents the duplicate processing when a request is already completed. And then lastly, it verifies the recovery logic on simulated database errors. So by combining a user-centric feature set, real-time tracking, secure payments, in-app messaging with comprehensive black box and white box testing, our roadside assistance application delivers a fast, reliable, and safe service for deliveries for drivers in emergencies. So this robust approach ensures high availability, precise matching, and an excellent user interface every time. Thank you.
Now I'd like to talk about the software engineering practices. There are some good practices that we have learned throughout our class and we implemented when we were making this app. So the first would be like doing modular design with component reusability. The second one would be like Git version control with feature branches. Third, that we also used comprehensive testing strategy. And fourth is responsive design for cross-platform use. We also like to give our traceability example like requesting assistance. First, the use case would be like customer request a roadside assistance, and the class we'll be using is service request, location service, user service, and the sequence it will go in is like first we're gonna request the submitted request, and then the helper will get the notification and then he will accept it. And the implementation was like from validation to geolocation to real-time updates. Hey, I would like to talk about the future enhancements for our roadside assistance app. Currently, the version we have it's like very basic. It has the basic functionalities, but we know that there are so much room for improvement, and that's why we have already thought through it. And the first thing we would like to do is make it available for the Android and the iOS users, so that like deploying it on the App Store and Apple Store, so people can download it on their phone and use it whenever they need it. The current version we have is the PC version, and I know it's not very helpful, but it was just for the project, and we're planning to make it available for both iOS and Android. And the second one would be like adding Google authorization, using authentication console, so that like people can log into our system using their Google ID, Gmail, and everything. And the third thing would be like the payment gateway integration. Right now, the app we have, we do not do any kind of like payment exchange within our app, but we would like to. We are planning to use a payment gateway integration, and then we want to have AI powered helper matching. Right now, the helper matching we have, it's more likely a region based, but we want it to be like more specific and more helpful. That's why we wanted to do it like a AI powered helper matchings. And then we also want to expand our serving offerings. If you have looked at our, we have probably offered like 5 or 6, but we want to offer more, so probably working on that part and expanding that part. In conclusion, I would say like we have successfully implemented the core roadside assistance functionalities. We have been all working together really hard. And then we also created a very intuitive and responsive user interface. I feel like this is very colorful. This is very the pictures, and we also put color green so that people like think it's like it resembles a sense of safety in people. So we did also did a little bit study about like how user would interact with our interface, but we are also planning to work on it and make it more interactive and more nice looking. And we also tried our best to apply all the best practices of software engineering that we learned in our classes. And we also have established a solid foundation for future enhancements. So, thank you everyone for your time. We really appreciate it. It was really great working with everyone. And thank you, Josh, again, for giving us this platform. It was really nice having you as our instructor. Thank you.